it's storage as well, as we've seen. Western Digital, just by way of example, guys, is up 300% year to date, 294. Not as much as SanDisk, mind you, 871. But I think the point remains the same. I think we're going to see component costs increase on the big, electronics producers. They're going to pass that off. My question, though, is at what point does that create demand destruction? And at what point do you start seeing these companies either absorb the costs and get a hit on the profitability, or their actual producers themselves, like the Microns, like whoever else, actually starts taking, a bit of a more toned down approach and not increasing their gross margins quarter over quarter sequentially like that? Because at some point, this is going to create demand destruction. I'm just not intelligent enough to know when. So with that in mind, you good or still? All right. So yeah, Neil, you good? You ready to go? All right. Neil's always ready, baby. You see that time though, Neil? You don't see anything. We got a $1.30 in the bag, and I only get that though. Joey doesn't get it because he wasn't here. All right, I'm just joking. All right, guys, let's send it over to the big boys. See everybody tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Take care, guys.
What's the time? I don't know. The watch doesn't work. I don't have a clock. It's probably, look. We'll give him a little credit. We'll start a little bit earlier than 2 o'clock just to give Sharif a little bit of a break because he wants to get out of Dodge. I know. Shout out to Sharif and Joe over the midday. I want to shout them out for another fun show. And I like that use of it. I was listening in. It was pretty cool. I love how in-depth everybody gets. I also love the side eye that Sia was giving to that truck, trying not to be like that. It was so incredibly polite when really it was just like, no, I'm not feeling it. And you know what? I appreciate that because it's just that it's that level of professionalism we try to have around here. Because I would have been like cracking up. Like I was looking at that truck and I was like, what are we talking about? You liked it? I thought it was. Man. You know what? Let's put it this way. It's ugly.
It's 25K.
It's ugly. Okay, that's fine. It should be 25K.
Yeah.
It should be because that doesn't get me excited one bit. You know what does get me excited, Joe?
Uh-oh.
The updates that we've got coming out of Origenics, ticker OGEN, on the NYSE American. Now I'm excited. The company has now activated its phase 2A clinical trial in Australia, with its first site fully operational and patient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP-002, an intranasal treatment, which is targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury. And that's an area where there are currently no FDA-approved therapies. And alongside that, Origenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, resolving liabilities, and restoring exchange compliance. The focus now shifts to execution, with clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under evaluation. Shout out to OGEN as we throw up to the desk with an error.
Mentioned this headline earlier, going to go over it again here. USO at new intersession highs. Wall Street Journal reporting that the IRGC, or Islamic Revolutionary Guard, has attacked a Singapore-flagged cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz today on Thursday. Wall Street Journal is citing 2 senior U.S. officials. Apparently, of course, this attack would be testing the U.S.-Iran agreement that was reached last week with the goal, of course, of restoring shipping throughout the Strait of Hormuz. It's a massive oil choke point. Of course, apparently this attack occurred just off the coast of Oman. It damaged the vessel's bridge, didn't cause any injuries. And again, days after efforts have started to be established to get this safe crossing back through the strait. USO on watch. If I get more details from this story or any response from any of the parties involved, I'll let you know. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. Well, I was gonna say, like, the market everything's going fine for the Nasdaq. If you look at what Micron is doing, like, talk about a reversal. It's like it takes all of 30 minutes, not even. Like, what is that? What is the low here? I mean, less than a half an hour to make those lows in Micron, and then just slow and steady all the way back to where we were at effectively 9:30. I'm only in one position. It's kind of back to if the market's gotten a little sloppy up here and I can't see VWAP, I went over to SMCI. Like, this is a NASDAQ, and it's like, what are we doing? We got halfway and couldn't go any further. And I think one of the things to consider here is if we just, I zoom out, and then I also move back as if zooming out isn't enough on my screen. I just do it for effect. It's weird. I don't know why. And just have a quick look at 29.9. right? Overnight support. Outside of the earnings moves, resistance for effectively 2 days. We kind of popped into that and can't seem to go any further. So unless we're breaking out 29.9, I think there's a retracement play to be had. That said, if we get above there, the Nasdaq has a really good chance to do something, fun, special, whatever this afternoon. But my goodness, Joe, we had that poll.
Micron.
The poll was at, I think Micron was at, I want to say 1170 when we threw up the poll. Will it close above or below 1200?
We sell up 17%.
It was somewhere in around here, right? Chat, you guys let me, am I right or wrong? We could have been down at 1160. Either way, it wasn't looking that good when we made the poll. Now all of a sudden it looks like 1200. We're talking about 1200?
Doesn't that give you like
1250?
Ooh.
That's what it's talking about.
Yeah. Don't you feel that looks a little weak to you though, Neil? Or is it just me potentially?
Hold on, the bounce looks weak?
Yeah. Even though it's like a big one, like you got to think that buyers are at some point will. But I mean, just from like the ebb and flow within this, I think that if some big participants step in, that they'll have the ability to push and break this channel to the downside.
Well, to me, it still holds the thesis that you make when you get the double digits, 20%. Goolsbee saying PC report wasn't all negative. Saw a bit of improvement on services. Okay, well, I'm glad you found something, Goolsbee.
Colder on this end of the...
It is cold. There's like a vent over here that makes it cold. I'm always like shivering. You see it with my hands. But no, so we get like 10, 20, whatever percent move to the upside, and you get that gap up. You make a low in the morning, and then you stay in inside range. And sometimes that lasts for potentially a couple of days. And if that lasts for a couple of days, and maybe not breaking out 1250, but also not taking out new fresh lows, can be it. That's consolidation. And you know what? Consolidation higher in an uptrend is never a bad thing. Like, look at the top end of the range that we have. Just go for the last week. Okay, so there's 1,000 support. Oh, look at that. That was the low yesterday, 1,000. We haven't broken out to really do much of anything with these tops. So even if you fail here and go halfway back, that's consolidation even in a higher low. In an uptrend, good thing. So until proven otherwise, I'll be the first to tell you, you didn't, unless you just bought the dip on the trend before earnings or on earnings, and that was it. Like, the trend line is holding on Micron. So if you pull halfway back, I don't think you got to be all that scared at this particular point. Especially, I heard you say it, the whole Micron's become the new NVIDIA. Well, if you go by NVIDIA's numbers last year,
and what we got
Micron is
a couple of years ago
incredibly undervalued relative to NVIDIA.
Very much so.
Can that stay true? We'll see, because there's two ways that could play. They could slow down.
Yeah.
Or the valuations could catch up to each other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, we talk about this a lot during the midday. You and I have had the conversations as well too, Neil. Is that, like, when you just have when you have demand outweighing supply, eventually supply will meet demand. And what does that mean? Like, I mean, you're going through some big time growth here, and there's a key metric, right? Like, when the big boys stop spending as much or they cool down on CapEx, that might be a slight indicator that, hey, supply is going to meet up with demand at some point. That's just not the narrative right now. So
it's not even close to the narrative.
No, it's not, truly. All right, guys, we've traded 6 names here today, so a little bit more than usual for me. Shooting 50% clip rate on the names. Our best one today here being this one, NVDL. Just rocking and rolling on this one throughout the whole intraday session. Number 2 on the list, IQST. Not too bad. QST. How come that's not pulling up? Uh-oh.
What happened?
Can you change?
Hang on.
I'm like mad frozen here.
Okay, I'm good.
You're good?
What's the symbol?
IQST.
Yeah, I can see it. $100 million. $1.58 above VWAP. It's moving. Oh, but before we move on, we gotta get this first. What are we talking about? Again, it's Dave. Dave with the 10 Trader TV Live gift memberships. Why? Because just an incredibly generous person giving out memberships this morning, yesterday, probably the day before that, and the day before that, because that is how he rolls. Appreciate you. No message, just being kind about it. Let's see who got them. I got to scroll up, see who got them. Not you. Jesse just put a message in there.
What did he say?
But no, he just said, I don't know why we're laughing at Dave, because he said the memberships, but that's fine. Tank Dutang Dumpster Diving got a membership. Kirk D, let's go. BMW, good. Camp. Oh, Campolo. See, my brain wanted to go to Camp Low because that's one of my favorite groups out there. Long term, James 007, British Secret Service, love that name. Got a membership. Jose Rivera as well. Alke, CG Trades also picking one up. Net Sige got one as well. And you got to be a subscriber to be in the chat, and you have to be in the chat to enable gift memberships. That's just how it works. So hopefully everyone enjoys those. Get Sharif's note every single day. The Sharif is here, and the value is like 25 cents a day, but to me it's way bigger than that. I read it every single morning, and it certainly helps me formulating my plan of action. But slight move down, but the market wants to come back here. So rolled into what I thought could be another push into the low of the day on SMCI. Got a little bit out, but if it's going to break out that prior high, it's just going to jump out. That prior high here is going to be the out. I'm not flipping to the long in that thing. Not yet. You haven't got me thinking that stock is the long. There's certainly some other ones out there. I know you liked NVIDIA. That's starting to get off the schneid a little bit. AMD, load. A little more strength than AMD. Like, it's at VWAP. It's got somewhat, like, I could draw that for you, but who cares? It's just going to line up with the volume weighted average price. It's got VWAP. It's got a bit of a breakout level that's set in there. I'm just going through some sympathy names in chipland that are a little bit stronger. And then a very similar look on Intel, right? Like Micron, I don't know, it's a little far and just extended in the move, so I don't like the risk to reward there. But Intel's got a very clear wall at 32.5, and then a little support at VWAP. So a break away from this in either direction looks pretty good to me. I'll keep that on the radar. SMCI maybe at the volume weighted average price. And of course, we'll track that MU for you, you guys. Let us know if there's a mover out there, a shaker, a small capper, while the market's not doing a heck of a lot until it breaks the range, then let us know.
Absolutely.
I'd love to. I'm not really seeing much. There was one right before you guys came on that just
a small capper.
It was like that penny stock. I'm like, ooh, this looks interesting. And then you guys were talking about it. I pulled it up, and then like 2 seconds after I pulled it up, it literally dumped like 20%.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, like I was looking at the overall market here, Neil. I just think it's been cheeks over here, man. Like a couple of 3 sessions now, just moving sideways. A couple of liquidity grabs right here. So shout out to Deep Cheeks AI because listen, it's been a lot of sideways movement with these big moves lower. And I mean, I'm not gonna call like, hey, watch out for some more downside. But the market needs to breathe, and we're starting to form somewhat of some topping signals here, and we were talking about by the end of next week, we set up that iron condor strategy between us all. Now these calls up here, where you collected the most amount of premium, are helping you outweigh this this condor, right? Like you're starting to head a little bit lower, but we're staying within the middle of this range. A lot of inside trading and a lot of inside days over the past 3 sessions outside of this gap down. I don't know if we're going to be fortunate enough, and I literally mean that. I think we would be fortunate if we get this pullback, which would be approximately 8.4% to that previous high. Just the way the trajectory that this market is on, the way that these companies are reporting, and that's the number one thing. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, Neil, and I don't know how you feel about certain things, but I'm saying screw sentiment.
Uh-oh.
If these hold on, let me finish.
Screw sentiment.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready for what's coming next?
I don't know if I am.
Literally, throw that out of the window. Throw it off of whatever you possibly can, because if earnings come out hot once again, then everything is irrelevant. The market could definitely drive a little bit higher, especially if these companies are going to guide. If you see CapEx increase, margins are holding on. You're seeing revenue and EPS hit record numbers, then sentiment doesn't matter if the earnings support it. I could be totally wrong, but I think that's the narrative that we're going to be sitting in.
Yeah, if earnings, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. You didn't have to say screw sentiment. I mean, that seems a little harsh, you know?
Is it?
I mean, a teensy bit.
Yeah.
Maybe like a little bit.
I take it back.
No, it's fine. It's just like it just wakes you up. Which is good. Wakes you up right there. Screw sentiment. Who needs it? Yeah. Unimportant. Doesn't matter. It's absolutely useless. It's just hyperbole. Well, someone improve the sentiment on Apple, please, because that would be nice. And I just saw in the chat there's like conversations. Is the market going to move a little bit more? it's a little bit light volume. I really do feel like we're starting to look like we want to move again, but it's like there just needs to be something that either kicks us through that resistance in the futures, or like something's got to break us down. I look at a name like Apple, like that could break VWAP, that would help. But look at it just so cleanly reject the volume weighted average price. We're gonna go to Adara. If that topping tail candle holds, that does look like a little VWAP short with really tight risk to reward.
Comments on watch here from this individual on my screen. His name is Fed's Austin Goolsbee. He's talking a lot about services inflation, and I mean a lot. I think he's still on CNBC as far as I can tell. He said at multiple points during his speech that services inflation was, quote, disturbing. Then he said that PCE print wasn't, quote, all bad because there was some, I guess, trending in the right direction when it came to services inflation. Said that there's actually overall, quote, glimmers of hope when it comes to the services inflation space. But then even furthermore, beyond what we had here with this PCE print, he said he's looking forward to CPI and saying, quote, if core CPI is from services, that makes me more nervous than if it's from goods or oil-related items. Keep an eye on services inflation because clearly Fed Goolsbee's eyes are on that type of inflation. He's also commenting a lot here about task force, or new Fed Chair Kevin Warsh and his task forces. He said he's actually, quote, sympathetic to what Fed Warsh wants to do here with guidance. He says that he doesn't dislike the dot plot, but he's definitely willing to see how things can change. So yeah, I mean, interesting comments here from Fed's Goolsbee. The services inflation aspect, though, very fascinating. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. Come on, Goolsbee. Services inflation? We're talking about services inflation? Bruh. Talking about oil. That's it. Talking about oil. No, just
yeah, man.
No, I mean, let's be real for a second. Like, what's been going on is, I know there's a lot of people in the chat look at oil, they look at it rally higher and the trend and all of that stuff. Look at USO. Tis but a scratch.
Oh.
You can talk to me all you want about this being up 2.5%. You can have bounce days in an upward channel. You know what that means? Like, I'm not necessarily saying it has to reverse today, but if not a heck of a lot changes, tomorrow morning, I gotta start thinking short there. Because anytime I hear people or see people in the chat start rolling up into that battle stock, like that small capper that everyone always wants to squeeze when oil goes, just like, hey man, that's usually a bit of a trappish stock. If it doesn't see, this one in particular, if it doesn't see 130, on the move, and USO comes back, it's right back to $1. That's just how it usually rolls. Ooh, Apple just went through VWAP.
Ooh.
It's happening.
Oh, to the top side? Oh,
yeah,
we're down.
Yeah, we're down 4.5%.
Dude, I thought whatever
VWAP
you had on there was down 7%.
No.
There. Other than that, yeah, let's do that here, Neil, because we got some options talk going on right now. I want to head over to our watch list. Tomorrow we can do some cool things. We'll build some strategies and stuff and go over a couple of things there. But let's head over to our watch list and see how the market is holding up here today. NVDA down 2%. At this point, it's just the narrative of what's going on. Apple at one point down over 6%. Google down 0.8%. Now SpaceX over here. Now Amazon as well too, guys. So the Mag 7, all of them, with the exception of Broadcom, pretty red here on the day. And then you have QCOM up 7, but these memory names, SanDisk up 20%. What is even happening here? But I can tell you what is happening now, and it's not happening now. We're gonna head over to what Adara is. I'm not gonna steal her line. She's got her thing going on. Let's send it.
Get it there.
Where's the beef? I mean, probably maybe with Wendy's chart, if you've been trading WEN. Here's today's segment of To the Window, To the Wall, where I pull up a chart window and we talk about it on the wall. Now, I was going to ask you guys in the chat, would you rather talk Wendy's or FedEx Freight? And then I realized the answer is very clear. So I pulled up this Wendy's infographic I made today. Now, what's interesting here, this is their quarterly revenue from Q1 2022 all the way over here to Q1 2026. So this spans like 4 and a bit fiscal years. Now, what's interesting is you actually did have year-over-year growth pretty consistently for Q1 2023 throughout fiscal 2024. Now, fiscal 2025 is when the slowdown begins. For all 4 quarters of fiscal 2025, you had year-over-year declines in revenue. Now, Q1 2026, while we still have that sequential decline, as you can see, they actually did have a little bit of year-over-year growth coming back. So kind of an interesting look here for Wendy's. I know this is not a company where the fundamentals generally matter to anyone, but I found it to be interesting, so I did want to share this with you guys. When Moon, the question we're all still asking. If you guys are curious as well, let me know in the chat. I can definitely talk FedEx Freight ahead of their inaugural earnings report tonight after the spinoff. I can also talk Bumble. But yeah, just let us know in the chat. We can always do that over on the desk. But in the meantime, that's today's segment of To the Window, to the Wall. Back to you.
Thanks, Adara. I voted for FedEx Freight because Wendy's stock was like an incredible waste of the morning, having it up and looking for a place to want the long to go and then not being involved in BlackBerry. So you know what, Wendy's, boo. I was the only one around here who kept it real and said that the Baconator is delicious, and of course I would eat one. Everyone else around the show was just like, no, we don't eat that nonsense, as if it's not delicious. Okay, maybe not you, Adara.
I've never had a Baconator, so I can't even comment. But I do like, I've only ever had it at the airport, because you know what I'm talking about. Our airport has a Wendy's. And I really like that one, like, pecan salad they have. But maybe next time I'm at the airport, I try a Baconator.
Okay, so now all we got, just trust me, you're going to enjoy it. It's delicious. Like, let's be real for a second. You add bacon to just about anything, it is going to make it better. You add it to a hamburger, and it just becomes a more delicious hamburger. So Joe just went to maybe grab his lunch or go to the bathroom, whatever it is. So he's not even listening to this right now. So when the boys over there were saying, I'm not going to eat the Baconator, I'm just like, come on, that's cap. You know it's delicious. You know you like it. You can be as healthy as you want and be like, I don't eat that stuff. That's fine. Fair enough. But no, sometimes, look, I'll be the first to admit it. This was a fail. I mean, thankfully, I just didn't trade it, but there's an opportunity cost. Probably would have lost money if I tried to go long this. I don't think it would have been good enough to have waited for $7.20. But the opportunity cost was understanding that there was a runner this morning. There was something that had earnings. There was something that had the momentum and a good technical setup, and it ended up being BlackBerry and not Wendy's. So, you put something on your, something on your side chart or on my iPad this morning, and just because you happen to make money where you were trading or avoid the loss in something else, it really doesn't mean that that was the right thing to do. BlackBerry could have been like that. You trade BlackBerry long today, and there's a good chance that's your best stock. Just looking at the way that it traded, it's hard to imagine that it wouldn't be. Like I was most involved with DRAM. I'm not really saying that DRAM was bad. It could have been better if I'd held through the volume weighted average price. It was good. But BlackBerry long versus that, there was no pain to be had just going long in this or finding the longs over there. I believe we just got a super chat, so I want to throw it up there. I'm also just going to out loud remind you, that was just reminding all the viewers, Joe, how ridiculous it was when you guys said you wouldn't eat the Baconator. Noah Spot, oh man, that chicken was so good. Man, Joe's eating the chicken from lunch.
I never said that I wouldn't eat the Baconator.
I thought I heard you. Okay, fine. Maybe it was just Sharif. Maybe it was just Sharif. Spot, I'm expecting this to climb with the new AI music. Thoughts? I'd like to see. I don't know who they could merge with. Were we having this discussion? We were having this discussion a couple of days ago. That maybe is there somewhere they could merge potentially that could maybe unlock something for them?
I find it weird that
I don't know. I left Spot. It's too easy. Like you can be Apple. I'm not. YouTube Music or Amazon's got their thing too. I don't know. I don't see the advantage with Spot. There's a lot of competition out there. Adara?
Well, I was going to say, even what that super chat's referring to, it's not a merger, but it is that collaboration with Universal Music Group, right? That led the stock to climb that ridiculous, insane rally last month. Like, it was crazy to watch.
Yeah,
if
for
you were
few days.
Trader, you were all over that. But either way here, I bring this up because I do think Spotify, like that's kind of the catalyst there for those who aren't aware. The AI music thing with Spotify is real, and it's in tandem with that UMG deal. But as you guys know, I am famously an iTunes user. I'm not saying Apple Music, I'm saying iTunes. So.
Yeah, I know you are, and that's one of the things. Like almost everybody a lot of people I know that loved Spotify have moved on to other things, and to the point, it's right back to where it was before when you got that news. So, look at that. Look at that number. What number is that for support? Nothing to do with it, but it just happens to be bouncing off of 420. All roads are leading right back into that support level while we have a market which is trending up. So I don't know what unlocks the next move up here. for Spotify. You've got the user base. You do have some loyal clients, but there's just nothing seems to get it going the other way. I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird one, man. I'm not seeing it. Oh, you got music up right now.
Yeah, well, we're gonna.
Joe's ready to jam to some stuff because Joe's younger than me. So like whenever he listens to music, I look over and I'm like, I have no idea who that is.
It's all R&B, brother.
Yeah, but like that's not R&B that I recognize.
No, you got the Regulators out there, man.
Regulators is not R&B.
I know. I'm only playing with you, dude. What do you mean 90s? Well, yeah. See, this is the thing. 90s R&B is probably the best of all. Like. You know what I mean?
You don't even know what New Jack Swing is.
New Jack? No, I mean, listen, brother. I got my stuff, man. It's just.
Don't worry, nobody does either. T Hyde knows what's up. T Hyde in the chat knows exactly what's up.
Yeah, what a crazier market.
That's exactly. Right? See, this is exactly why birth rates are so low, T Hyde, because nobody listens to R&B music anymore.
Cut close, like the early '90s R&B.
Yeah.
So good.
It's
Adara.
God. I mean, God, that's crazy. It's the GOAT.
Thank you.
I'm a young buck, man. Mitchell Brown.
Holla.
I know when
Come on, Mark.
Anyways, listen. What I don't understand. Look at this here. Look at this over here. Neil. Spotify. Monthly paid subscribers, 281 to 293 million. Apple Music with 112. So, I mean, these guys actually hold the majority when it comes to it. I think Spotify is an extremely popular platform, if you ask me. And the fact that the stock can't perform, I don't know what that says for the company in itself. I just don't really understand, to be honest with you. So,
I think that's sort of the thing. Like, if you're not performing when you've got the base, questions get asked.
Yeah,
they're not in a bucket with some brands in.
It's because they pay.
Like
it's because they paid Joe Rogan $300 million to have his podcast on there, and then maybe they're giving so much.
That's a lot of money.
Up too many of their of the profits.
Good for you,
Joe. Me?
No, I said good for you, Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, exactly. At the end of the day,
has that really worked out? Has that worked out for them?
Well, no,
you really got to think
about
it.
Oh wow.
And by the way, for the chat. Adara's not low-key gangster. Adara just is gangster.
She's from the PEG, man.
Right? Trust me. Like Adara's knowledge, like hip-hop knowledge, I'm talking, I mean, she knows hip-hop. She knows hip-hop now, too. But, like, the knowledge of, like, even from my back in the day, it's not just the news stories. It's not just the knowledge of the markets or the news she's about to give you now. She's straight gangster all around.
From the murder capital.
To Adara, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys for the kind words. People in the chat were asking about Microsoft and this news to why it bounced. There is no news behind it. I figured it was easier than tagging people individually in the chat. In case you guys missed it, there was news on Microsoft earlier today, but it was already in the decline when this came out, and it didn't bounce then either. Microsoft was specifically their Xbox unit announcing console price increases. I went back to see if I missed anything on MSFT. I didn't. It just seems like something got set off here around this 351.50s area, pushed to the upside. If I do see anything later, because sometimes we know news disseminates after the move, I'll let you know. But either way here, nice bounce on Microsoft for, as far as I can tell, no specific reason. Again, I'm looking back here to see if I'm missing anything. If that changes, I'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
Is it maybe just IGV?
Big time recovery there.
I was looking at the futures breaking out. I was like, well, what's actually causing, what's causing this? Because these chip names, like Micron actually pulled back. I was looking, the IGV, of course, is just going to be falling. Maybe like go to something like a Palantir. They have Palantir's going. It looks like software in a general sense. ServiceNow. Wow. Okay, Friday charts here on a Thursday. Yeah, it looks like maybe like a software kind of thing. I might do.
Moving too.
It's all of the heavy-weighted names in the IGV that happen to be going. I might just throw up Microsoft, and then if I see it even try to slow down, because when I see program buy like that, give me a reason why it's happening. Ugh. Why would IGV and the first thing in the drop down be Milan? There we go. So if I see even a little bit of a curl here, I might just go over and try and quick scalp fade. In IGV.
It's a big time move in Microsoft, to be honest with you.
That's a solid move.
Right at
very
the trend
solid
line break too. So
it's technical for sure. There's no doubt about it. And while that was happening, Micron was cruising for a bit and just pulled back $15-20 in the same time frame. So you could be like mini rotation-ish, I suppose. But the second I see a little red, I'm just going to take a quick little scalp in IGV. But I need to see it happen in Microsoft. I feel like that seems like it led things mostly. Yeah, it definitely feels like Microsoft made the move, and everything else is just following.
Is Microsoft the Micron?
Microsoft, yeah.
Isn't Microsoft is that Micron and Microsoft collab?
No, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's a matter of, let's be real, when we started the show, Microsoft got talked about a lot. Softy and and then for the last little bit, you're talking about Micron. Mm-hmm. So, you fall into that habit. It's the same reason why, like, I'll just start typing a letter and I'll type the wrong stock because everyone in the chat's talking about like some random stock, but like in my brain, like I'll just start typing something that actually, like a stock that I know. Like when someone, like there it is, like LPTH, someone just put in the chat.
SanDisk.
Right, like Lightpath, like I'll probably put in LITE without even thinking about it.
Yeah, did you look at, don't look, man. How much percent
now I'm gonna look.
Is SanDisk up here today?
13.5.
20%, try. Crazy. Like $2,500 price target. I want to bring up what Neil was talking about not too long ago. He's like, how come no one's talking about 20%. The airlines here? I mean, Delta was up 4%. BA was hit earlier, but UAL was pretty strong earlier this morning as well, too. Excuse me. And then we also have JPM. Right, like we were up 2% at one point. What a fall from grace on this bad boy. I shouldn't say that at all. It's 2%, but we did tap into all-time highs today. And this isn't the first time that this name has done this. Like this was the previous wick high, and then it gives back, and then it has this massive engulfing candle. But sure enough, a week of trading later, then you just climb right back up into that $344. And I think this is something that isn't really talked about right now for us personally. JP Morgan hitting all-time highs. Morgan Stacks not too far off of that that marker as well, too, only a percentage point or two, 3.5%. So I mean, the banks are looking pretty strong. One thing that I'm kind of disappointed in here, Neil, is this recovery in Walmart. It's been taking a little bit longer than what I've been expecting, but what else do you expect? Sometimes within the market, it can definitely stay rational longer than you can say solvent. But at some point, and you've mentioned this as well too before, Neil, is that from a PE standpoint, Walmart pretty expensive. Okay, yeah. But I like everything to do with this company. It's a staple, and it is a staple. Like everybody loves Wally. Majority of American families, Canadian families, go and do mass amounts of shopping. They have a lot of products that you need. And I'm not even going to bring that up. But listen, you have the automotive things. I know that not every single one has that. But you have the grocery side of things. You have the clothing. I know they had a deal with Joe Fresh for quite some time. I don't know if that's still ongoing. But you have the garden center and some things during the summer that just add a little bit to the revenue intake, but then you head into the holiday seasons. What I'm referring to is Christmas, is you see a lot of these retail names and even clothing brands start to find some form of an uptick. So, I mean, year to date, Walmart hasn't been horrible, but I think it can be performing a little bit better. And then we have Costco at one point was hitting all-time highs there, Neil, but down 13% off of its highs. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a broader tech sell-off. Where am I going to be looking? And I say this time and time again, banks and staples. Now,
banks, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what I want to do is actually pull up our portfolio tracker. I know we haven't done that in quite some time. Let's see how we've been. Doing, and especially you guys in the chat. No offense, the picks are questionable, chat. I don't know what's up with that one there. It's on all of you guys.
That'd be better than me.
Yeah, but we'll figure that out here. Maybe you
first red candle in Microsoft.
In Microsoft, is that you're in Palantir?
Well, so what happened is I missed IGV. So here, first red candle in Microsoft. I went over to the IGV and went to hit the bid and didn't hit the bid. So I tried to grab it, did not pick it up. So I went over to like the next thing that I could find that hadn't quite gone yet, which was Palantir, and it gives a topping tail candle. So pull back into VWAP. I said the second Microsoft shows shows any change of pace or change of pattern, I want to pull back and just take a scalp trade into the volume weighted average price. So again, it's 230. It's not like there's a tremendous amount of volume, but if you give if you give that opportunity for something at least to happen, just take a quick little scalp trade is going to be the way I want to approach this. Obviously, there's a little bit of there could be something structural and technical about this as well. You know what? I'm going to put a break-even stop in now. So a break-even stop and maybe let it get a little bit deeper into the volume-weighted average price. Just give it more of a chance. Maybe you can press down and kind of take out VWAP a little bit here. But I already see Microsoft bouncing. That's why I just moved the stop. Like Softy's already coming back up here. You know what? Just take it.
Take it, man.
Like at the end of the day, if the entire thesis was, okay, well, Microsoft is leading the way. Second, Microsoft looks weak. Jump short into something that wasn't quite as strong. I thought that would just be IGV, but instead go Palantir and just proxy trade. Maybe they continue falling down, but I'm not going to try to figure that out. We'll just get in, get out, take the win back into VWAP, and then that'll be about it. Let us know what else you guys are watching here, because the market's still looking a little bit.
I have our portfolio tracker up here.
Oh yeah, my bad.
It's all good, man. Take a look at this one here. Neo, I told you you're going to be climbing the ranks right now, brother. From no longer at the bottom of the barrel, my boy. Mateo.
Which is surprising, given how AAV is so bad.
You know what, guys? I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. 2% for my boy. Who's that? Is this Sharif?
Hood.
Man, 10% there for, who else we got? Brando. Chat, you guys are doing absolutely disastrous. Neo, Fabian, Mateo. Ramin, what happened to you over here? Down 20% at the lows. Taking that spot from Mateo. I got to have a conversation with Mateo over here, because this guy's talking to me about price to sales and all the fundamentals of things. This is my hockey buddy, Mateo, guy from the office that we knew. Great dude, by the way. But down 20%, bro. I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to pull him aside and have some conversations, even with Ramin as well, too. Only 4 of us on the green side. Let's see what we have here with Sia happening now.
You see what's happening to Hood?
Thank you, Joe. Taking a look at the 3 major averages, the SPY up currently in the green. The triple Qs are also in the green, up almost 2% on the day, and the Dow up 0.29%. So all 3 major averages in the green at the moment. Let's take a look at 2 things I want to talk to you about. TECH Biotech Corp shares have surged 19%, up almost 20% on the day today, right now, after the company has agreed to be acquired by Merck for $73 per share in cash, or $11.3 billion. This move comes from Biotech to strengthen the life science business, specifically in the company. Also, the shares for the company Merck have also risen 4% after the announcement. The companies have said that they will keep the deal targeted to be completed by late 2026 or early 2027. Finally, I want to talk to you about ABAV AeroVironment. Will be reporting its 4th quarter results next Monday. Currently, shares are down almost 4% on the day. Analysts are calling for earnings of $1.46 per share and revenue of $557.2 million, as per FactSet. Also, shares are on the pace for their 4th straight losing day this week. After AVAV had disclosed earlier this week, I included it in my segment a couple days ago, that they will have to restate results for 3- and 9-month periods that ended Jan 31st due to certain miscalculations. That's all. Sending it back to you.
Thank you very much, Adair. And that is a big-time pain point. Big-time pain point for these bad boys. We'll get to Thomas there. You can like something, but when it loses support, as quickly as these things can go up at the beginning of the year, this was like one of the best 200 period bounces of basically anything. Like in the time, I'm an ARM that went basically this kind of a move, but not even as fast when it did, but unable to hold support. Get back above the 50, unable to hold support. Like we're just still not busting the downtrend whatsoever. Thomas Condo, I almost said Concorde. That was one thing that would have been cool to have flown on the Concorde back in the day. I remember when I was anyways, I'm going to date myself when I say, remember when I was a kid and the Concorde came out. BBAI Army step up. Your thoughts on XRP, ETH long. Okay, well, I don't know what that has to do with BBAI, but.
Let him talk his.
Okay, so how do we get excited
about
about ETH at this moment. So Bitcoin's still under 60,000, by the way. We never actually. It did some work to try to get back above, but we're still in that kind of fail point in BTC. You start thinking about the cycle. I know they're different things, but the sentiment is the sentiment. Like you're at the midst of a potential flat bottom break, which has dire consequences if it doesn't hold 50. And at this moment, if I do the same thing, everyone always remember, oh, that's not what I want. I will do this and zoom out and then zoom out and then zoom out. And then you look at where ETH is at. Pull that up a little bit, and you're kind of teetering on a potential support level. Okay, I can always get behind the notion that from a technical standpoint, if you're in a downtrend, and even if you think that the trend is continuing, you can slap something like this and say, hold that bottom, break that trend, you've got yourself a trade. Maybe it has the juice to give a decent retracement. Maybe it's to 18. Maybe it's to 22, maybe it's to 25. But the overall downtrend's holding, and for a trade, because to me, you're in the wrong part of the cycle to be thinking really long on any of this stuff. So I'm still thinking you're in the downtrend, but there can still be little breaks and bounces higher, kind of giving you a little bit of juice on the long, but you got to have an out on those. Like if it retakes the low or you lose 14 hundo or something like that, it's a trade to me. You got to have an out. I actually sold almost all of my ETH on the way to the upside. Kept all my Bitcoin, so it doesn't really do much.
You didn't offload any?
No, my proxy
I'm
was
not
just
saying it like, oh yeah, like you did. Well, you didn't.
Well, so I was a 60 for almost the entirety. I'll be candid. Like I've always been basically from the beginning when I started investing in crypto, like 60-40 Bitcoin ETH. Small amounts to joke around when I got my Coinbase account. I just wanted to mess around with stuff. So I traded a little bit of like some of those stupid
altcoins?
Some altcoins, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't really do much with them, kind of play money kind of deal, but 60-40. But I sold like 90% of my ETH on the way at the last move up, but didn't touch the Bitcoin. So in theory, I could be looking for a place to buy back into ETH or put that money back into crypto. I just wish I had sold some Bitcoin as well. That would have been much better. But I didn't. I'll just be real about it. I'm not buying on the way down either, so I guess I'm not compounding the mistake. David Zed, Siamese, thank you for another super chat. Joe definitely holding MU calls. January 15, 16 hundo, but the July 17, 1200 ones take the profit. Looks like MU clearly hit a ceiling for the day.
Yeah, but I think the keyword is the day. Dude, lock in profit, man. You're never going to catch the top, or very rarely will you catch the top, very rarely will you catch the bottom. So ringing that register, as you would say, Neil, would be ideal to me. Leave some for a runner if you want, but lock in some of that cash, some big time moves here in Micron. I love the earnings report across the board, and I'm sure a lot of investors are going to as well too. So with that being said, who knows if you're not going to be the only one thinking about taking some off the table. We already know what happened in South Korea not too long ago, literally a couple of days ago. Market just absolutely tanks. Just be prepared for that. I'm not saying that's going to be the case here, but nothing wrong with taking profits, sitting on some on your hands, because I'm convinced that at some point you will be able to get the price that you want or something relatively close. So no plays, Mr. Joe, says Peiko OR. Peiko, as I was reading your chat there, I was going to say, Peiko, I know you're always cleaning up. No, this was some of my latest stuff. Let me pull up my blotter here, and we'll go through my list of tickers, and we'll just take a look starting from top to bottom. This is going to be from worst performing to best performing. Okay, so we're going to start with the garbage. First in, first out here on this one, Neil. DRAM, we're going to take a loss on this bad boy here today, guys. Just doing a little trade review. At this point, bright and early in the morning, I said DRAM was on my mind today. Pre-market, you're up 17%. Well, guess what? We take a long off of the volume-weighted average price. I'm holding for the break of the pre-market high here at 79.78. Oh, well, guess what? It breaks out. But what did we do? One thing that was correct about it, aside from the direction that I picked, probably the most important part. You get out when you're supposed to, okay? So I mentioned this earlier in the day. We start the day 0 for 1. No problemo whatsoever. Why? Because we have the utmost confidence. Now, we're not going to go into my second trade. We're going to go to my second worst performer here today, and that's going to be IBIT. All right, let's take a look at IBIT. One trade on this bad boy, and I'm like, what are we doing? Small size, so we give ourselves a little bit more room to hold it. We get out, and then it still hasn't even come back to my break even. So AC Slater to that one, we got out of that. That's 2 trades already 0 for 2, even though they're not in the correct order. ATLM, that's going to be our next loss, right? Don't forget I have 3 of them. We've traded 6 names, so bear with me for a couple of more minutes while we do our quick trade review. Looking for the high of the day break here on ATLN. Didn't happen, no Shablamo. We tend to come back in. We get out exactly when we're supposed to once again, and then to the downside we go, losing about 20% of its value right here, ATLN, as that broke down. Wow, Neil, guess what? Now we're going to start to be looking at some more positive things. ILLR.
You just made up Shablamo. Shablamo is not even a thing. There is no such thing as Shablamo.
No?
No. Absolute. Am I wrong? Chat, come on. Like, I'm just trying to keep it real for a second. I'm like, Shablamo.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard, like, there's all no whammy. Like,
Yeah,
there's.
thanks, Jesse. No,
Now there is.
No,
Now
Jesse's
there is.
right.
Shablamo. You know what?
Shablamo
Fine.
it's real. Yeah, there we go. I thought we were saying, anyways.
Let's steal that now.
Higher, low.
I'll steal any now.
Yeah. You like Shablamo?
Well, now I do, apparently.
Oh, okay, all right, man. There it is.
The chat seems to like it, so now there is.
That's all that really
Shablamo.
matters, man.
Okay.
It's very real, says my guy. It is now, exactly, very real. Now there is a Shablamo. Is there something else? Okay, it is real. So here it is, guys. Sorry. Got sidetracked a little bit here. What would be the opposite of Shablamo? I don't know. We haven't figured that out yet. We haven't come that far. Now, as for ILLR, up 327% on the day, and we take a small little scalp here, okay? So moving forward, IQST, bear with me, guys. We're almost done, and bear with me here, Neil. This is going to be our second best performer here on the day. Now, we take the most amount of shares for the break of this key pivot, and we're fortunate enough to get that. Breaks down to 58, we get stopped out a remaining 20% of our position. And then here it is, our winner of the session. I've had a lot of chicken over my past couple of dinners. So here's another one. We take a stop loss there, guys. Boom, 1, 2, 3, partial out, add. And then we eventually get out at the break even though the stock continued to climb a little bit higher. So nonetheless, not a horrible session.
Okay, I want to make sure I'm using this right. So if I say, if I had just stayed in Palantir, maybe I would have had a Shablamo.
No.
No, that's bad?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no, don't worry. It's a no Shablamo.
Damn. So Shablamo is bad.
Yeah.
The Shablamo
is bad.
So it's bad. So right here, if Palantir goes back through like 108 change, Shablamo.
Yeah. Bam, Shablamo.
Okay. I want to make sure I'm getting it right. So when I steal this in perpetuity, because the chat seems to like it, so why don't I just...
Chat loving it. They're saying we need a Shablamo animation.
The question is, how fast can Fabian come up with a Shablamo animation? I'm looking over. He seems pretty busy right now. So, I don't know. I don't know how fast we can get you a Shablamo thing. How do you spell Shablamo?
Yeah, they got it right, man.
Shablamo, Fabian. Shablamo. Everyone's putting it in the chat. Fabian just said in my ear, what is that in reference to? The whole point is I have absolutely no idea. I just tried to use it in a sentence, and Joe was like, you're not even doing it right, Neil, which that seems like... No, it's not like he's like Michael Jackson saying, I don't know. Apparently, it's something negative happening. Like, oh no, if this breaks out this top, I'm going Shablamo on the short.
The chat loves it, man. These guys are favorite.
You guys can't even, the chat can't even spell it consistently correctly.
The majority of the people got it right, man.
No, see, this is the whole, not a single person in here, nobody's spelling it the same. Look at this. It's all different. These are all, nobody has any consensus on how we can even spell this thing, let alone how I'm supposed to use it.
Yeah, so ShamWow.
It's about to go.
Whatever happened to that ShamWow guy?
You don't want to know what happened to the ShamWow guy. It's not a question you want to ask.
Yeah, well, Fabian just told me.
It's not family friendly.
Yeah, Fabian just told me in my ear what happened. So.
It reads like the ShamWow guy. It reads like something out of like it's like a TMZ crazy thing.
Yeah.
He's probably out of jail by now because that was years ago.
Is he?
Oh, it was bad. Just trust me, it was bad. Not good. Not good. Yeah. See, there you go. Shablamo. Is that right?
Yeah.
So we short this into VWAP, then we short VWAP and it goes shablamo.
No, that's cruel,
Yeah?
man.
I don't know. I'm trying.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Shablamo, man. Yeah, terrible trades. I think that's it. I think that's what happened.
can't even.
man.
I can't even.
Yeah, what do we got going on?
Just
here,
don't
Neil?
look up the ShamWow guy. I don't want to be responsible for people looking up that story now.
I mean, he had a good run though for a while. Adara didn't. Yeah.
Is there a spell it? Oh.
Yeah,
Thanks
right.
for calling me out, Andre. It's because honestly, I don't really have an opinion. But
Thank you, Adara.
SHABLAMMO, because if it's 1 O, I'm going to think it's Shablamo. So I think there's 2 M's. Shablamo, if I were to like, do this, the pronunciation spelling. That's my humble opinion, based on someone who spends a lot of time looking at words and is studying the Scrabble dictionary.
I'll just take your word for it.
Yeah.
Someone just said, what is the market doing? Bouncing off VWAP is the answer to that. So no shablamo for the markets right now.
Also, Neil, if Adara says it, you have to listen to it.
Yeah, I tend to. Let's put it this way. If we're talking about how to properly say something, remember an important fact, I'll just defer to Adara every single time. So it's not really a word. Go throw it in the Urban Dictionary, man. That's what I would do.
Yeah, didn't you throw something in the Urban Dictionary?
Yeah.
Pull it up.
Quadunk. But the problem is I don't remember how to spell it, so I can't really look it up.
Oh man, that's.
I couldn't. This happened on the show years ago. I don't know, 2021 or something like that. It was like the market went quadunk or some nonsense during COVID or whatever it was, and then we put it into Urban Dictionary, and there you go. Oh, but I remember,
Yes,
I do
indeed.
remember the quote, because if you go to Urban Dictionary on any word, you have to put the context in there. I do remember the context was Jim Cramer said Meta was the best buy was the best buy at 300, and then it went quadunk. Because remember when Meta was like 300, and like the day before earnings or some nonsense, he's like, this is the best Mag 7 stock, and then that was the beginning of the fall down to $100. But you know what? He wasn't the only person that was saying that. But I remember that's what I put on Urban Dictionary, which I don't even know if that's a thing anymore, if I'm being real with you guys.
You were just on it the other day, I swear.
That was weeks ago. But when I say it's a thing, I know it still exists. I don't know if that's a thing that people actually pay attention to. Get up, market. We're still very much in the same range. Maybe we should just be range-bound trading. There's got to be something moving more. I know before we got sidetracked, I was about to lament what is going on in Robinhood. They don't like the competition here for Robinhood. There's a lot of positive things I think that they've got going for them, but with the competition in the prediction markets, which has just come in, the fact that we just lost this 200-period moving average, this might not be along again till 85. And it might have to prove it for a couple of days. I don't know. See, this is one of those fails for me. If you watch this show long enough, see this type of a top, and then this day, like I'm almost always short a stock like this, and then short it till it's not. You sort of say, okay, I want to short it this day, and after that happens, I want to be looking short. Even if you miss that, you're just shorting into the prior low. Like that's just such a good structured trade on trend. False break of the high, break down 3 days in a row, you catch the last pair. Yeah, I'll come in tomorrow thinking, tomorrow morning, if I don't at least look for a Robinhood short, then I don't know what I'm doing. Let's go.
Seriously?
Well, look at the look.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
so look at the
yeah.
move. It just comes down to this, right? You have this little false top up here, 110, lose a 200-period moving average, then it just tries to fill the gap. Support turns into resistance. Trend down, underneath another level of support. As long as you hold this 96. Underneath the 96, that just looks like a trend trade. I love Robinhood. I recently bought it at 80. I've never been long the stock in my personal account ever, and I now own the stock. It has nothing to do with the fundamentals. It has everything to do with the trend. And it also didn't participate in this market bounce. The market's off the lows over VWAP, and it's right back at the lows. You throw in the fact that there was some strength. There was actually even strength in the bank. So some of the financial stuff was pretty good. I'm pretty sure SoFi even had a good day today.
Oh.
There you go. SoFi bounced off the lows and
relatively
held some higher lows. So there's just a lot about it that sets up as relatively weak. And if it's relatively weak, a pattern's a pattern. And you shouldn't care what you think about the stock if you just want to trade it. You should just trade what you see in front of you. And that means Robinhood poo-poo. You said poo-poo this the other day too, so I'm going to throw that one in.
Did I?
No, what I should say is, what was the word we were just saying?
Shablamo.
That.
I said
See how ridiculous that word is? I already forgot it.
Somebody said it was it's already in the Urban Dictionary.
No, it's not. Don't lie. It's
Dude,
not. It's not already. It's not already in the
Dude,
Urban Dictionary.
I don't think this individual is lying. Your word is already in the Urban Dictionary, bro. A word used to describe something great, fantastic, and superb, wonderful, so on and so on. Used to make the sound of an explosion.
Oh no.
Crash.
No, it really is.
Yeah, see, like, man, I'm telling you, man, it's in there, man. Shablamo. All right, let's shablam over there.
Thank you so much. Also, wait, I saw in the chat earlier, I was having my lunch. I think we were discussing either Sade or Luther Vandross or something was going on. And I think I will definitely pick Luther Vandross. I love Luther Vandross. Oh, 1 second. Just to mention, I love Sade too. I'm not picking between the both, but I think Luther Vandross is amazing. Anyway, let's move on. The IWM currently in the green, up 0.33% on the day. We're going to look at 3 individual tickers. BHRB up 3% on the day. They appointed a new president effective 1st of July of this year. And next one, we have QBTS. That's D-Wave, down 5% on the day, recently announcing its forthcoming GATE model quantum computing simulator, a move that expands its GATE model roadmap that was designed to accelerate the development of commercial fault-tolerant quantum computing. And finally, we have Form, F-O-R-M, up 6.2% on the day. Form factor has been added to the U.S. large cap Russell 1000 index. Sending it back to you.
Yeah, man, pull it up then. Show the
See,
people.
it has
man.
good taste in music.
Pull
End
up
of
the.
story. End of story.
Look at it. Pull up the
band.
screen here.
Okay, whoops, that's wrong. Shablamo.
Shablamo.
A word used to describe something great. First of all, you then used it. You told me I was wrong trying to use it as positive. Anyways, fantastic, superb, wonderful, and so on and so on. Hey, put some effort into it. Who made this? The MUMA. You got to put some effort in it. And so on and so on. No, use some examples. Used to make sound of explosion or crash. Yeah, I did it. Shablamo. And see, that's just lame. If you're going to put something on here, you've got to make it fun.
It's definitely more fun in
that's
the
why
context
I did
of stocks.
No, but that's why I did the for Quadunk, I used the Jim Cramer thing. So I thought that would be fun. And then anybody that knows the markets would go in there and get the inside joke. That one was just kind of lame. So I feel like I've been misled as to what that actually means.
But mine's older than yours.
Huh?
Mine's in 2000. You just added yours.
In fairness, actually, there's another thing which I wouldn't. Back when Sean and I had our own floor, we had a trader on the floor who also had a saying, which I won't get into because it's probably not family friendly. But we put that one up on Urban Dictionary, and that's been up there for a couple of decades.
Yo, send it to me. Let me know which one.
Maybe I'll At some point, I'll try to slide it in when it's not so obvious so that it's not as bad. But I'll work it in somewhere, and then you'll know that I said it, and maybe some other people will figure it out. But let's go up to this.
Keep an eye on PayPal. PayPal's actually trading higher on this, but it is worth noting X, of course, the Elon Musk company, they're apparently starting the rollout of their X money to a subset of U.S. premium users. Theoretically, this could be competitive with PayPal, but again, PayPal doesn't really seem to be reacting to this in any way. The other thing I wanted to mention here was SPCX. A couple minutes ago, seeing reports that SpaceX is going to start construction of a natural gas pipeline to its Texas launch facilities next month. And, I'm here, so I'll mention one other story related to Texas. Dell just had their investors meeting, their annual shareholder meeting. You could find that reminder on that at XTV Research because I like to post reminders to these shareholder meetings. Regardless, I bring this up because Dell's also apparently moving their headquarters to Texas. So not moving the stock, but kind of an interesting story here. Last but not least, this actually could be interesting. USO still near intraday highs. Associated Press reporting the UN Maritime Agency pausing the evacuation of ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Once again, guys, USO at highs as the UN Maritime Agency pauses ship evacuation through Hormuz. Back to you.
Thank you very much there, Adara. And Joe just pulled up, he just told me to pull up Caterpillar.
It's crazy.
Which I every now and then I'll not even want to look at some of these charts because I don't want to give myself a reason to trim them.
Yeah.
I almost don't want to look at this thing. This is a kind of thing in the portfolio that's just okay, I have a couple of things that are the non-tech stalwarts that aren't necessarily supposed to be moving like this, but when they are, you're just this ain't normal. This is not how they go. Now it's at 1,000. Like, we were just pulling back into the 50 period, and now you're doing this nonsense. Absolutely crazy. Soon, free 81. We got a super chat from you. So, SNDK, low by August. What do you think it will go down to or up? Oh, you put the or up, thanks. I thought for a second you were saying SanDisk is going to go down.
Yeah, I don't really get low by August.
Well, here's something for you. If you're looking,
the SanDisk low by August, maybe.
But what low are we talking about? That's what I don't know. You saying there's a low you think, or like if it dips, where would it go to? There's a lot to unpack with that I'm not sure I'm following exactly what you're looking for. But what I could tell you is, much like Micron, it's holding the trend. You can say the 50 period as well, respect that, but it's holding the upward trend. Remember, when SK Hynix comes to market, and it's not an IPO, they're just listing here, they're gonna raise some cash, whatever, 30 billion or whatever it is when SK Hynix comes to market. There's certain things, you already saw the reaction that Micron got to their blowout earnings. It remains to be seen and whether we just hold the line and consolidate, and this range is good for a couple of days and we go higher. That we've proved a little bit today. We haven't proved everything today when it comes to that. So there's still a chance that Micron could take a slower the reaction. That hasn't happened yet. But I would look for the next reason you could retest this trend line, because you've already had Micron earnings, would be when we have HK Hynix come to the U.S. market. When that happens, if you lose the trend, 1320 looks good from a technical standpoint. Right, like there's the consolidation. There's the last good consolidation level under the trend line break. I think that's too tight because it's also the 50 period. And if that seems extreme, then we haven't been following this stock that much. When it stops holding these 15 to 20% pullbacks, what else is going to happen? Then you start getting 40% pullbacks. That's just how it works. This is not the Qs. This has gone absolutely parabolic. For it to pull back 40% is nothing. The stock was $24 a couple of years ago.
All right, yeah, exactly, man. $24 a couple of years ago. Volatility steps in, Neil, creates movement. And for sophisticated traders, movement creates opportunity. Beta Pro by Global X offers Canada's first and longest running suite of leveraged and inverse ETFs, built for sophisticated investors who understand the risk of leverage and the importance of precision. Its triple leverage bull 3x bear ETFs tied to the NASDAQ 100 index are designed for daily tactical traders, providing amplified daily exposure and giving trading tools to engage with both upward momentum and market pullbacks. These strategies are currency hedge seeking to offset US dollar exposure backed by the Canadian dollar. For those navigating short-term market moves up or down, Beta Pro offers the flexibility to act on conviction whenever that looks like for your individual strategies, objectives, and risk profile. Trade tactically. Learn more at betapro.ca. Neil, team 6. All right, guys, let's see what we got. What do you mean? Yeah, Tony, tell him, Neil.
What did I do?
I don't know, man.
Tony in the chat's like, stop roughing up Joe.
Yeah,
I didn't do nothing.
Tell him, Tony.
He's the one that came up with. I didn't come up with the word Shablamo. You start saying Shablamo.
Well, clearly I didn't come up with it either because it's been in the Urban Dictionary.
Stolen.
You know what I mean?
The U.S. is looking into a strike on a ship in the Hormuz. You know what? The backdrop to this Micron day has to be.
Why do we got to do this though? Like, why are we dropping a headline like this when we're finally starting to cool things off?
USO has been in such a distinct uptrend all day long. It's unabated. It's kind of the one thing that's gotten it's not ignored. We talked about it a couple times here. But one day, before we throw up to the desk, you've got to remember one day does not break a trend at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
For the most part, we've been writing off most of these stories. But for now, like the NASDAQ and the ES are taking VWAP as USO continues to go higher. Probably should. I might take another shot at that Palantir. I feel like I should have.
Palantir again?
I don't know. I could have given it more room. Maybe waited for the next up push and catch it on the way down. It's still slightly trending lower. It was such a distinctly different trade, just catching like the trend break than trying to work into it after. But if the market's going to lose VWAP, this one's already down 5%. It's in the right space to be thinking short. So I'm going to have this. I'll have this up. Look for maybe a re-entry somewhere back into the Palantir shorts. It still looks good. I can't really think of a reason why it's such a tight stop on it in the first place.
All right. Yeah, all right, let's see what we got going on. What's up, Tiffany? Let's see. How's your day going so far? That's good. Yeah, that's good, man. That's good.
Tiffany's got a sweater on in here, and I wish I had one.
Yeah, same, man.
It's freezing in here, isn't it?
It's always freezing in here.
I can walk outside and it's perfectly fine, but in the studio, it's chilly.
It's literally a fridge. Oh, okay. All right, guys.
I know how we heat things up.
Yeah, wow, Neil, we should have left that one to you. I shouldn't be talking at this given moment. Neil just stated, hey, we know how to heat things up, and with that being said, guys, we're going to send it over to Adara. We have a special guest here today, guys. I hope you enjoy this one.
Very excited to welcome back to the show Eric Sloan, EVP, Head of Distribution over at Beta Pro. Great to have you back. How are you doing this afternoon?
Great to be here. Thanks very much for having me. Doing great.
Always great to have you on. And we're going to start here with Canadian bank stocks. We were talking about this off camera as well, U.S. bank stocks on watch with the stress test pass. But these Canadian bank stocks, they've been meme running as of late. So what can you tell us about the fundamentals behind the run and any reasons that this rally could continue even despite how strong they already are?
Well, it's been interesting, right? You caught a Globe and Mail article earlier in the week about cash controls coming off for the banks. Hopefully that means they can deploy more capital, put it to work across their various business units, whether it's mortgages, retail banking, looking at commercial banking, all the trading businesses that you guys have been feeding through them. So more business equals more profits. I think last quarter, 71 billion in net income, and it just continues to grow. So we hope that continues. For you Beta Pro traders out there, there's a couple tickers for you on this one. CFOU and CFOD should be interesting, although most of the folks have been chasing the upside of late, and those are triple up on S&P Caps financials. So should be fun, a little more spice for you than buying a traditional bank's aggregate fund. We're watching these every day.
Yeah, well, let's talk about another area that is pretty spicy, to put it mildly, the gold space. This has obviously been impacted by geopolitical headlines. So what's the case for gold specifically right now? And then we'll get into miners in a bit.
Well, you've got a long list of things to consider for this one. And I'd say for many investors, it hasn't been going exactly the way everyone thought. There's a lot of correlation going on. So usually you think conflict, gold's a safe haven. You've got the conflict in the Middle East. That's also triggering inflation and other considerations that are impacting not only gold, but gold producers. So for us, we're watching it carefully. I wish it was going bottom left, top right like it has for a little while, but for now, we're also heading into a historically quiet season for gold, something else to be mindful of through the summer months, and maybe we see it do something more interesting in the fall.
Yeah, fair enough. And I also now want to transition to the gold miners. So I know one thing that you kind of noticed is there's a difference between how gold is moving and how the miners are moving. I guess what is the significance there, and what should traders be aware of when it comes to that?
Well, so your miners historically give you operating leverage, right? And as long as the price of gold is high, you can expect to see some halfway good outcomes from your gold miners in particular, because they're able to resell everything they pulled out of the ground at a higher price. That usually translates into the equity markets in a better stock price than what you'd see at a bullion. Yeah. So for the miners, that's a really important one. We've got ways to play that inside of the Global X shelf. GLDX would be the ticker to look at. If you're chasing down an up and down fund for Beta Pro, again, you've got two ways to play this market and watch it move with GDXU and GDXD. So it's something else to watch.
Well, to you and all of our Canadian viewers, I'll say happy early Canada Day. Really good timing. We already talked about Canadian banks, but there's also just been a lot of strength in general in the Canadian market. So can you talk us through the recent performance of the TSX 60 with that in mind?
That's been a good start to the year. I think we're showing just shy of 10% on returns for the S&P 60. It's a marquee benchmark. If you're looking at Canada, you really have two to look at, composite and the S&P 60 itself. If you're looking at the Beta Pro lineup, again, you got triples on this one to play with, as well as doubles, if I'm not mistaken. So it just depends on your spicy level. But if you look kind of where Canada's going, we continue to do well. Energy has been the backbone of our economy this year, leading through last year as well. And I think we're going to see that continue as we start making deals abroad that could see more exports out of our country.
And let's talk as well here about how Canadian traders can trade in the U.S. because, of course, we have that TSX 60 and these Canadian banks, but how can Canadian traders gain exposure in an easy way to the U.S. market?
Well, ETFs are a great way to go. If you still have a Canadian dollar account that you're playing with, You can obviously get exposure not only U.S., internationally, and abroad within a fund structure. And there's a number of different ways to play that, whether you're looking at U.S. banks. We've got those in the traditional Global X format, not necessarily the spicy flavor that goes with Beta Pro, but there's a number of different ways to play the U.S. economy, NASDAQ, S&P Composite in the U.S. Those are all available to you in double and triple format.
Really exciting to hear. Thanks again to Eric Sloan, EVP Head of Distribution over at Beta Pro by Global X. Great to have
pleasure.
you again.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you once again, Eric Sloan. I'll tell you right now, I was actually perusing some of the offerings they have myself, and we've said it before. I don't know, Joe, I don't know if you're involved, but they actually have that cash ETF that I know I love. And I'm just saying right now, we've been talking, we just had a question about SanDisk and a question about what happens and how far could it pull back and all that stuff. And really, if you think about if that causes some kind of a market turn, if that's a bit of a bottom and you're taking profits off, well, what do you do? Like, what do you do when you take profits off? I'm being dead honest. I know Sean does this too. We're here in Canada. I sit in cash.to when I sell things. It goes right into that. It gets a divvy, and then when I want to deploy, I can sell it, and then I can go put it into the stock that I want. Mm-hmm. And that's what, to me, I just think that's what you do. And it's a shout out to Eric, and we want to thank them for sure. Someone just said Apple is dumping. Oh, really? This is why we can't have nice things. Every time we think we're bouncing, we just get pulled right back down. Right back down. Who's that guy that didn't hold on to his continuation in Palantir? Fire him. Slap him in the face. Here, I'm going to use a different one. We'll use the other one.
Damn.
And the reason you use the other one, the more extreme it gets, it has to change the skin tone if you're going to put the slap on there.
Damn.
For sure. No, nasty, nasty, nasty.
Look at this here, though, Neil.
And yes, I do like putting. I want to credit the chat for every time you guys can manage to catch when I drop a movie reference in there without trying to be obvious.
Oh, all right then. Here's CFOU. This is a Beta Pro. This is the TXX from April of 2025, 206%. Man, oh man.
That'll play.
That'll most definitely play. I like the look of that one for sure. So maybe we get involved in.
No problem.
Listen, I used to own a lot of banks, but I don't own any Canadian banks anymore. I own all American equity.
The Canadian banks are literally, it's not like the U.S. The U.S. banks, there's like all kinds of competition. You got regionals, all that stuff. You still have like the big banks, which are always going to win.
Yeah.
But in Canada, no, we got like a small hand. You can count them on one hand.
Literally.
And they have an oligopoly.
Yeah.
You can't lose.
They can't lose, man.
But it is what it is. No, they're great. Don't get me wrong. Like the first individual stocks I invested in that weren't the exchange.
$1.08
were Canadian banks and Enbridge.
Look at that, Neil, man.
Nice and boring.
You're in this. Wow, this has been performing. I own this thing for years. At like $70 or something along those lines. If I head back into the teens, I know it's going to be in those. But like, look how long it did absolutely nothing and then just decided to go on these insane runs. Let's head over to a deeper chart here. I was an owner of this stuff like in this area. I remember owning it like 50, 70, like $70 or something along those lines, Neil, to be honest with you, in TD here. And then now it just decided to go on this insane run.
Yeah.
Where it just more than double, so it does nothing for multiple years.
Well, TD
and then
had a scandal.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a scandal here, which is probably, I'm guessing, somewhere. This is COVID, so head and shoulders. Scandal this, though, apparently, Neil, because that's been brushed under the rug. And you get to be a part of 120% from April of 2025. So
I own two banks
in
Canada. That's one of them.
That's one of them?
The other one is my bank.
Okay. I wasn't gonna say it just in case.
What difference does it make?
Where's Randy?
My bank with, man.
Because you never know, man. Some smart people out there.
What are people gonna do with it? You ain't doing anything with that. Like there's not.
Shablamo.
You could literally. There's not that many banks in Canada. You probably just guess it or figure it out at some point. It's not really that.
I mean, it's not that complicated. You could literally look up all the banks in Canada right now, and you just get it. It's like we don't have the regional thing, which I think is good because you guys have like Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, like too many methods of payment. For us, it's an email, and you can just send money to whoever you would like.
Nice and easy.
Nice and easy, man.
so
Simplistic. And you still have to sign checks now, or sign. You got to sign after you swipe. You use your credit card at some restaurants there. Like, kind of ancient technologies. There's a $1.03 dividend on XOM. Oh, that's for our boy Randy. That's what I pulled that up for. So shout out to Randy. Let's send it off to Adara.
It's an interesting one here on Micron. Shout out to the Goolsbee letter for posting this. Apparently, Micron is the most traded stock in the U.S. in terms of daily turnover volume. Daily turnover volume for Micron surpassing $70 billion. This makes it the most traded stock in the U.S. above Tesla and NVDA, which are often the top 2 traded stocks in the U.S. They certainly were last year as well. So neither Tesla or NVIDIA were able to exceed $70 billion in daily traded volume, daily turnover over the past 12 months. Micron's done it. Good look here for MU today. Still, relatively close to these highs and tons of traders looking at it to boot. Back to you.
Man, a high of 100. Like,
I'm trying to find something I want.
We had a
trade.
pivot high of $112.
Ugh. Why do we have to keep looking at Robinhood? Can we look at nicer charts?
Dude, we're down 16%.
We already showed that garbage chart.
How?
Let's look at something better.
How?
I'm just saying. So in the chat, they're like, "Can we admire Caterpillar again?" Let's find.
Pull that
Let's
back
admire
up,
stocks
man.
like that. Let's admire. Well, we've already talked about Caterpillar. Let's admire Eli Lilly. How about that?
Yeah.
Because people wanted to, like, I think what a lot of people might be thinking about is the daily chart. You might be thinking about, okay, well, if things get worse, if Micron pulls back, if everything goes red, if it gives up these gains and everyone doesn't believe in it, and and OpenAI maybe pulls back their IPO.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Neil.
Think about the doom and gloom.
That doesn't look that admirable though, compared to like Caterpillar.
Yeah, but
Caterpillar is like the second child.
I know, but the thing about Caterpillar is, what do you think happens if the AI trade starts to blow up? Caterpillar's been great. It is a staple stock. I consider it a buy and own, hold forever kind of deal. But because of the way it's parabolically run, because of their power generators for the data centers, then it could have a pretty significant contraction. Now, you ask yourself, if that starts to come in, what are the types of things that might catch a bit of a bid? Eli Lilly is the kind, or maybe you look for something else in the biopharma space or healthcare space, or maybe you look at, we've already talked about the banks there, we've already talked about the staples. We're spitballing. Farm Trader says Walmart. You could look at some of those type of retail names. Walmart's still a bit expensive, still like them, but yeah, I just think you might be looking elsewhere. And the first place I usually think about is, well, what's good that's in an uptrend? Like I mentioned, I know Sean said, he's been in AbbVie for a long time. I'm a recent entrant into AbbVie because I was just like, well, what am I going to do when I trim some things and had some cash? I looked over at this, look at the April wipeout low here. You want to talk about a reverse head and shoulders? Reverse head and shoulders, the hold to 50, I'm like, okay, with the divvy, in a space I think you can rotate to. And then when I threw it up, why do I have ASTN up on a weekly chart? I don't even know why that's up there. And then when you throw it to a higher time frame, you check out the monthly on this. Just look at it hold that beautiful trend line with the dividend. And then you throw up the weekly, which gives you a little bit more of like a local breakout because you got that wipeout bottom and then this little mini break back into the highs. That's just a perfect buy the dip. Gets you a bit of a sector rotate as well. And then it also means I'm not just like all in on Eli Lilly. I can also have Lilly and
what kind of dividend are we looking at there, Neil?
You know what? I got to double check it because I bought it for the technicals.
Doesn't it say right there?
Oh, no,
you get
$1.43. $1.73.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah,
it's not crazy. It's $2.40.
Okay.
So you're talking. Yeah, that's not.
It's not horrible.
It's not bad.
No.
But I love the technical on it. It's about looking for other places, I think, to go because as we speak, and this doesn't mean that much. I know, as the NASDAQ heads back a little bit to the downside. As Micron starts to lose it, you start asking yourself, with the numbers that these guys just put up, this is an if, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you ask yourself these questions so you're prepared in case it does, right? This is an if. I'm not saying it happens. But if we end up rolling back and tomorrow, we're talking about spitting distance of 1,100 again and testing the trend a couple days after earnings, I think the sentiment's going to be, okay, well, where's that money going to? And this is the question I think we should be asking ourselves. You know, just as a bit of a diligence thing. It doesn't mean that Micron's not just going to continue to trend higher.
Yeah.
Possibly will, but like, where are you going to put things in as well?
I like what Save Man Woman here was stating. It's like NVDA makes $80 billion and didn't move. MU won't do more, in my opinion. And I totally respect it, but this is where I stand. We understand that NVDA is occupying the majority of TSM's capacity. I understand they design chips. They don't actually make the chips. They design it. The issue here is that there's an actual shortage of memory, and that's why you're starting to see the bottleneck within these names, right? I think it's a little bit different scenario where you have, Sharif talks about it all the time as well too, where you have the disruptive service within NVDA, within custom ASICs, right? So you have the Marvells, you have Qualcomm getting involved now, and you have the Broadcoms in that sector. So, I mean, you have a couple of the names, the SanDisks, obviously the hard drive aspect. You have the Western Digitals, the Seagates. There isn't as many participants, and we've seen it already in NVDA. You may be correct in the near future, right? And I state that supply will catch up with demand. That's just not the case right now, and that's when you see these exponential growth. Like, you got to think. NVDA is I'm going to understate this. Are we at $4 trillion here? We're north of that on NVDA, man. I can't believe I'm talking about the most valuable company on the planet, $4.7 trillion. So that means, like, is placing Micron the most valuable company on the planet the wrong thing to do? Maybe right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if it starts to leapfrog a couple of names. So what does that mean? Is this a true $1 trillion name, a $3.5 trillion? And if that's the case, there's still substantial upside to this. I just think there's so much of a disruptive service within NVDA's business right now. That's why this stock is really hasn't been performing like it should, because the earnings reports are absolutely phenomenal. I think they're just kind of in two different boats right now.
Oh, we got a super chat.
Yeah, but he removed it.
No, but you know what? So I don't know. You got a super chat from Fulci Live.
Oh, he did.
But I can see the message stays in our little thing.
Yeah.
So nice try. I know you tried to retract it, but what is this?
Why would you retract that?
15. What?
That's a euro, man.
Oh yeah, euro. Towards next beer and pizza day.
That's $30.
Beer and pizza day. I'm down with that. You know what we have to have on the pizza day. What are your favorite heist movies? No need to answer on the spot tomorrow next week. That's a tough one. Let me think about that. We'll go up to there.
It's the Ben Affleck movie with Casey and all their.
You thinking Ocean's 11?
No.
The Town.
The Town.
That's a good one. Let's go up to Adair. I got to think about that some more.
Yeah, I also need to think about that. But in the meantime, we all need to think about these minerals plays here. He is CRML. Here is USAR. Here is MP. Lots of critical minerals plays on watch here as we get a report saying the Pentagon will be allowing critical minerals plants on U.S. Army bases. Again, critical minerals in focus as the Pentagon reportedly going to be allowing critical minerals plants on Army bases of the U.S. Back to you.
So I thank you, Adair. I just put in the chat, I do feel like it's got to be heat, but I do want to give it some more thought. Like that heat it's just on a different level. The diner scene, anyone that wants, you know what's up. But it's got to be heat.
There's another one that we.
No, I'll think of more because I'm sure at the top of my head I'm forgetting some obvious ones that I'll need to. But the first thing that pops in, and I think a lot of people are saying it too. In the chat, that's an absolutely legendary film. I know there's some others that I'm probably forgetting here, but thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you for sure. Maybe we should do some pizza. I don't know what the lunch is tomorrow, but if it stinks, we should probably get some pizza. But we don't. That's the thing. We haven't done pizza and beer in a while because the last time
we got pizza like 2 weeks ago.
No, pizza. You heard the other part? Pizza and beer. Because the last time we did that, basically Sean and I had Friday beers alone, and no one else was drinking anything. That's how I remember it. That's how I remember it.
It said alone.
For sure. All right, I just cheated and looked at the menu. I think we can get away with it tomorrow.
Oh.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
Italian jobs up there. We're going back up to that. See ya.
So we'll get back to Sia. She was just muted for a second. Snatch. That's
Snatch is
right
up
there.
there.
That's 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chad. That's,
Rock and Roller.
Oh my
Like,
What else?
Have you ever seen Rock and Roller?
I don't think, you know what? I haven't seen Rock and Roller.
What?
I have not.
Rock and Roller is sick.
Okay, let's go back into Sia. Mike's fixed.
So we have the SPY here sliding a little bit into the reds. We're going to take a look at the sectors. We have the Mag 7s not doing the greatest, but we have Google currently trading flat at the moment with all the other names dragging down a little bit into the red to quite a lot. We have Apple still in electric tech, NVIDIA down 2.26%. Apple also continuing to slide 5.21%. It was down 6% earlier. It is reversing a little bit, but hopefully it does a little bit better towards the end of the day. AVGO down 1%. Micron holding that strength from earlier in the day from those solid earnings for up 14.31%. We have SanDisk also up 19.22% at the moment. The entire sector looking a bit green, all thanks to Micron. Tech services also, we have Google trading flat, Meta down almost 2% on the day, Microsoft down 3.29%. We also got news on Microsoft about their Xbox gaming console as well. Oracle is down nearing 4% on the day. Netflix trading flat at the moment. In finance, we have BRKB holding that bearish sentiment from earlier in the day, down 1%. JPM is up by 1%. Visa and MasterCard trading flat at the moment. But moving on to retail trade, we have Amazon down 3%, Walmart followed by Walmart, Costco, TJX. In producer manufacturing, industrials looking pretty strong over there. AMAT, LRCX, CAT all up great in the green. AMAT up 11% on the day, followed by CAT up 5.44%. Consumer durables, we have Tesla a little bit into the red, down 0.56%. Health tech, we have quite a lot of green. Lilly and J&J maintaining that momentum from earlier in the day. J&J up 2%, Lilly up 1.3%. ABBV is up almost 4% on the day. We have energy still trading a little bit flat. XOM, CVX flat at the moment. Other sectors such as transportation, utilities. We have Uber down today, 1.54%, reversing its gains from yesterday. Utilities, process industries, health services, all looking flat. Not the best, not the worst. Sending it back to you.
Oh, it's such a distinct heat map today. Like, it's just death across the mags and then everything else. Farm Trader, thank you for the super chat for the green bottles. That could go a lot of ways. It could go a few ways.
Green bottles?
Yeah.
Is that like a Heineken?
You go Heineken.
Steam whistle?
Well, you know, that's the thing. Nobody knows. You guys are all American. You wouldn't know Steam. So there's like a local brewery. It's like right next to the downtown Toronto, next to the Blue Jays Stadium. There, and it's called Steam Whistle, also a green bottle. So like around here, if you say that, you easily, like a lot of people would probably, in Toronto, would probably think, half the people would think Steam Whistle first, but I'm sure you mean Heineken. Cheese in a chair, it's been a minute. How's our cheese dispenser business going? I invested my entire life savings.
Private offering.
Yeah. Just my opinion here, but the bull case for memory at these high levels might be a tough sell to some, but a glass of water can be pricey in the desert, and the hyperscalers are going to stay thirsty.
I agree.
This is sort of the thing.
I agree.
The stat that really came out and really makes you just think about it for a second. It's not just the margins. It's the sheer amount of profit that Micron made. Micron made more profit this quarter than NVIDIA made in the same quarter last year. And NVIDIA, $4 trillion at the time when it did that, Micron just over $1 trillion. So when we say things like, and I get it, like I just did a whole thing about what if this falls apart, where are some places I'm rotating to, because I'll be the first to tell you that when I'm selling 10% of this or 10% of that that's gone parabolic, I'm looking for other places like an AbbVie to put that money if I can.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not selling it all because the trend is higher, and it has been until proven otherwise, right? Like tomorrow, if we dip into the close, which it doesn't seem like we're doing anything, you can dip into VWAP here. You have the NASDAQ barely losing VWAP. Like, we're not moving that much. It's 330, and we're still not having crazy movement. So I don't think we're going to completely retrace. But if tomorrow we're back testing 1100, the first thing we should be thinking about is that's where you'd be holding the trend. Not that everything is doom and gloom. I think if you lose 1050, press 1,000 on Micron, that's a different story. Then you start to freak out for sure. So you got to understand the semblance, understand what the trend has been, realize it's all impressive to say, but when you actually look and do a deep dive into the numbers, believe me, if they're able to continue this and continue to beat expectations and continue to guide higher, then this is kind of underpriced. That's a weird thing to say. But if they keep meeting these expectations,
underpriced.
it just continues to be true, and that's why we've been getting this. It is what it is.
Right
Let's go up to the desk. We have the one and only.
It's crazy. Oh.
I think.
101.
I'm here with Juan. It's 3:30 p.m. and we're going to be talking the Asian markets. What happened last night and what can we expect for the final session of the week?
Thank you, Adara. So huge uptick to the green here. North Asian markets, some record spikes. If we look at Japan, they were up by about 4.61%. The Nikkei 225 reaching that 72,000 barrier. In Korea, they were up by about 5.4%, also past the 8,000 barrier. That was on the surge of AI demand, especially Samsung. That was up by 5.3%. SK Hynix also 13%. Huge up move there. But what we need to focus on for tomorrow on the final session for the week, of course, all these record high numbers, you have to keep a close eye on the Nikkei and the Kospi openings following those spikes overnight. There's going to be profit taking. There's going to be reversions. That will definitely trigger some early volatility at the opening bell. And also the yen threshold. We know that there's a little bit of volatility between the USD as well as Japanese yen, currently at 161.83. So potential unannounced dollar selling might have some intervention tomorrow. We might see it on the last day of the week. And finally, in India, okay? India, they basically reached a key hurdle past the 24,000 peak, and just have to check the IT as well as financial heavyweights to see whether or not these pre-market indicators can have enough momentum to break the resistance of 24,100 in the early morning.
Lots of different indices and currencies to keep an eye on. Thank you once again to Juan. You can also catch him every day at 11:30 a.m. to cover the European markets before we deal with Asian markets here at 3:30. Thanks again.
Exactly.
Thank you, Juan. Appreciate you for sure. As always, man. Oh, another super chat?
Yeah, we got another super chat. Oh,
easy peasy.
What's up, lemon squeezy?
Okay, first of all, I think for anyone that doesn't know, easy peasy, always 0.2% of the daily earnings, and we appreciate you. You could just say what's up, but he do more than that.
Man.
7K, more towards beer and pizza. Okay, now we got to hook up some beer and pizza tomorrow. Madeira, I'm open. I don't know what kind of pizza we're going to be getting tomorrow, but we're not getting Hawaiian pizza, but not like what kind, like where we're going to order it from.
We're gonna order
Fabian.
it from.
Been on vacation. We'll be on vacation for 12 days. Beach house in Florida. Thank you, Trader TV.
Bro, I'm coming.
Yo, I'm down with that.
I'm coming, man. You're gone.
I'm gone next
week.
week.
Leave?
So we fly out this weekend. We're going to London, England, for the trip this year. So we're gonna have fun with the family.
Is Aaron going with you?
Yeah. Well, let's just say we take her on all these, because what happened was when we went to Paris, we didn't take my daughter. You want me to bring back chocolates? All right. Okay, so Sia just wants me to bring back some dark chocolates. So
Oh, you know what you do have to bring me though?
What you want something too?
No, brother, listen.
You making a list? What's going on here?
I want those Eton Mess candy canes.
Huh? That's way too specific. What you need to do,
brother, it's what I gave you.
Oh,
remember?
That's what that was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't. Whatever. That was delicious. Okay.
Those were good, right?
I'm gonna have to make a list though, because I got to try to remember.
There's a couple.
But the beach, I got a beach in Florida.
Yeah. So you're bailing now. You're bailing on the England plans. You're going with easy peasy.
No, I'm not bailing on the plans. We're going,
Well,
but
it sounded like you were bailing on the plans there, Neil.
I mean, can we be real? You think I wouldn't enjoy being on a beach, right?
Ooh.
The beach is always the right answer.
Going to London, man. The bridge is falling 77% to the downside. Neil, someone wanted us to take a look at Circle. I mean, it looks like there's going to be some more bearish price action, to be honest with you, right now. Just the way things are looking on the higher time frames, and we're looking at a weekly right now. This is going to be a key level. Like, we're right back at IPL price. $68, and we're talking about names that really haven't held up. Unfortunately, you go on this big time run, Neil. Circle, it takes some time, down 78% from that all-time high of $297. And I want to, like, I know they're not obviously not the same, but look what happened to Robinhood. $84 climbs down to $9, and then takes multiple years before it breaks out again. Okay, so I'm not saying that's necessarily the case here with CRCL, or I think what a lot of people are keeping their eyes out on SPCX, right? Like, we're heading in towards that territory where we might sell off and head south of $130 here. Do you think we get south of 130, Neil, on SPCX? And 125, in my opinion, is definitely in the works. That's where I have my next order out, and who knows how long this is going to take. One thing that we are privileged now to is see the actual fundamentals of this company when they start reporting earnings, Neil. And I'm looking forward to everything because, and also what Elon's going to have to say on the calls as well too, because this guy's the majority holder. 85% of the company is his. So what are his outlooks going to be looking like? Are we going to get excited off of what he has to say and his optimistic timelines, which people tend to do? Let's go, Adair.
He's very optimistic.
Yeah.
Pretty light volume on these, but I think worth noting in case you're wondering, these showed up on your blotter. You've got this TII Titan Mining. This is a $2.20 stock. IONR also on watch, guys. These are, again, not trading a million shares in the day. They're pretty lightly traded, but Wall Street Journal reporting that both companies have reached an Army agreement to base their for base leases with the officials in the companies. Again, Army reportedly having an agreement here with Ioneer and Titan Mining Corp for base leases. Back to you.
Just remind me, it's past 3:30. Usually we always show the early look on the imbalances. There really isn't much. AMC, 1.3 million to the buy side. CDE, 1.1. This penny stock seems to be here a lot of days, but the 9-cent stock, 10 million in balance. Maybe that's something, maybe it's not. I tend to lean on the not side, so not a heck of a lot for the early look on the imbalances. There's some at the end of the week tomorrow. There's supposed to be a rather large imbalance on SpaceX. So we'll be looking for that tomorrow at the close. At the end of the month, there'll be some MSCI rebalancing. So there should be some decent numbers tomorrow, Friday, and then at the end of the month. But today, there's really nothing big expected. Maybe you see something in the chip space or a Micron on the locator that pops up in the next 10 minutes just because it's in play. But I think the big stuff is going to be tomorrow for sure. But yeah.
How is you know what we haven't done here today, Neil? Is take a look at the VIX. I've seen someone put it in the chat.
Hey, fair
Thank
point.
you for reminding.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the VIX all day.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the VIX here today either. Slight uptick, nothing crazy. Oh, this is the weekly though, Neil.
What?
Yeah, 18. I mean, I don't think it's anything to get too alarmed about. Someone said
you open your eyes at 20, you wake up at 25, and then you sit up in your chair over 30, and then you short it at 50.
Yeah. No. I like that. I had to listen to what you had to say. I mean, how many times have we hit 50, Neil? Not that many. You know what I mean? Like from 08, if we head over to 50, there's only been so many times that it's hit there, and you fade it if you can.
What's going to happen is the next time the next time it happens, it's going to be like the ultimate doom, and then we're going to go to 100, and then everyone's going to be like, remember what you said?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, and I was just about to say, well, there's a way that we can kind of go about this is if I buy a put here at $50 and I just buy a long put, then I don't have to worry about losing more than what premium paid. But with my luck, it just skyrockets to insane highs, which this is the financial crisis right here. And the last time it even spikes anything relatively close is up to 85. And that was obviously during COVID. So, I mean, I always talk about it. Buying puts is always the safer, in my opinion, right? I think it's just the safer route. They're both not overly dangerous, especially if you just go the purchasing route, right? Like if you're long a call or you're long a put, then you don't have to worry about losing more than what you've paid for it. And as long as you're prepared to do that, then by all means, continue to take the shots then. But I think the safer bet most definitely is coming into waiting for those volatility spikes to come into play, and then you look for the put option within the VIX. And if you're looking for big time appreciation, if you're a smart cookie up at 66, you buy those far out of the monies at like 30 or even at the mean that are a little bit further dated out, or you even spread it to the point where you can just allow the premium on the long or on the short put to make some cash for you before you hit your destination. Because sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but if you make an average and you do like some math here, I mean, 3 to 4 weeks before you hit the average once again, right? So it goes up quick and it comes back down pretty quick as well too. So if you give yourself a little bit of time, but don't forget the put premium is going to be extended as well too, which I think is something that's really, really important. They'll increase those bad boys to make it a little bit more difficult to be profitable, because guess what? They price in implied volatility within the implied volatility index, so you can get screwed over by just losing volatility decay within the index itself, which is it's kind of a double-edged sword.
It really is. So let me be so real about this. Bilal, Tariq, thank you for the super chat. What do we think about HIMS? I don't think about it that much. Not really. I find like there's a couple of camps. Like it's just, you know, the way that I look at how to play GLPs has been a one-trick pony, and that's been Eli Lilly. And I kind of walked backwards into that stock in my portfolio because years ago it was the Alzheimer's drug, and I was like, I just thought it was when Biogen made a breakthrough. I just kind of liked Eli Lilly a bit better, and like they had their own. I'm like, I can just get a better company to this. And then all of a sudden GLP happened, and it went from interesting stock that I thought was a value to a parabolic one, and I just continued to like it. That being said, both Novo and HIMS are interesting. I always love it when something that's in a downtrend, we get asked the questions about it, or have a look at this, or I'm interested in this, after it's made a bottom. Instead of when it's looking terrible, it's like, it makes a higher low and holds a 50 and holds a 50 and holds some upward trending. Now, granted, if I was remotely interested in it and not already riding in a different name, I'd probably be like, the breakout here or the breakout here, holding those 50 periods on the higher lows. It's a bit tenuous because if you lose the 200 now, something that I've taken away, Joe, was I not telling you recently about downward sloping 200 period moving average?
With Robinhood.
With Robinhood.
Yeah.
And Brian Shannon said something to me one time that actually ended up, the next time I took a swing trade, it ended up saving me some money by taking the profit out. And it was, when you have a downward sloping 200 period moving average, have tempered expectations for how far your swing can go. So if you're long in here, you start thinking about 2 resistance or 2 the 200 period moving average, because you haven't, while you've made a bottom, it's still something bouncing in a downward trend. And that should give you a little bit more caution than it would a different name. And I'll simply give you the example of what it was for me, because this was, I believe it was UNH, and I might be forgetting the time frame. Friday charts on a Thursday for me. See how slowly it loads up? It's because I call up too many symbols because we're doing the show. But it was a similar swing on UNH where it did the 50 period bounce, right? And I remember what he told me, play it to the first resistance level in the 200 period because it's downward sloping. And I did that, and it gave me the perfect out, just because I tempered my expectations with the move. And then look what happens when it does the same move, break, hold the 50, when you have a flat to upward slope. Look at the continuation, that's better, because you were in an upward trend. So that's the only thing I would caution. And again, I'm not here to talk about, we'll look at the charts and the momentum and then just the ride, and I can give you an anecdote about something similar and how it makes me feel the way I do about the chart, because I'm not here to talk about the fundamentals on HIMS, because I don't own the stock, I don't really follow it enough, speak too intelligently about the business. I have obviously a decent understanding of kind of what they do, but keeping it to the charts, I hope that helps. Let's go to the desk.
Keep an eye here on the market, guys. Comments coming from Feds Williams. Nothing massive here. Just over the last couple minutes, he's been saying that the U.S. has so far been resilient against the economic impact from the war, also saying that he does expect inflation pressures to moderate, specifically expecting inflation to be at around 3.5% this year. Back to you.
Said that.
No, it's thank you, Adair. I just saw in the chat. I can call you out. That's fine.
You're calling him out, man.
No, I'm not. It's not calling it out. It's not calling it out. All the men on this
point it
channel
out.
bald. Or all men bald on this channel. Sharif's not bald.
Sharif got a full head of hair.
Sharif's got a
man.
full head of hair. Absolutely.
He's good. Brendan.
None of the production crews.
Brendan has hair. Production.
Brendan's
has
got hair.
Yeah.
Fabian's got like the biggest, like the longest flow you've ever seen. It's pretty intense. Well, we know you guys have hair. It's fine.
I think Adair
I
just
think
pouring salt in the wound at this point.
Nah, I'm proud. I'm proud of it. I like it. I got no
You got more hair than me, man.
bald brotherhood.
Yeah, I took mine off.
I'd shave it all off. My daughter would let me. Keeps it real.
See, you did.
5 minutes till
you didn't get
imbalances.
that one.
What?
I was like, yeah, I took my hair off.
Huh?
All right. Okay. See, I genuinely yesterday
I
on the
know.
show,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
asked you because I didn't know. And everyone on the comments is cooking you
You should
yesterday.
hear Assassino
Yeah.
laughing right now. That's criminal, man. That's crazy.
Ouch.
You took it off, man.
Ouch. Boosia.
Yeah, Shablamo on that one for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Shablamo.
It's crazy. Let's head over to our watch list here, guys, and see what we've got going on as we close in on the day. A whole lot of red there. There are NVDA 2.2% to the downside. Google down 1%. Apple right back down to that 6% to the south side. SpaceX down 1% as well. Microsoft, guys, down 3.5%. Amazon, Tesla, Broadcom, Meta. It's absolutely a bloodbath across the board. And someone was asking us to take a look at MAGs, which we'll do. And I'm actually going to place that right over here, right below this bad boy. We're going to insert a new row, and we're going to go MAGs. All right, so we make sure we have that bad boy in there down 2.7%. We're going to place, I never had that on this, and it's definitely been a tougher look, right? And then Microsoft got hit pretty heavy today, trying to hold on to it, but it's at a new yearly low here, Neil. It's absolutely disastrous, unfortunately, for Microsoft at this given moment. Hopefully this name can turn around, right? Like lengthy consolidation, and then now you're just heading back towards some levels that we're talking about in 2023, right? So it's a little bit uglier of a look, and I really hope that it doesn't happen to this name too. So if you go over to the higher time frame, there's going to probably be a pullback into 180s. We're looking for the 180s to hold up here for us. Applied Materials putting in new all-time highs. So if you're going to be talking about the ASMLs and the of the world, here's Applied Materials supplying a lot. Yeah, you guessed it, of the material required to make the wafers and to make all of the fabrication that's sent, or all the tools to fabricate in TSM and everything along those lines. So
Give me Lamb a bit over them, but they're both good.
What is it? That's LAX, right?
LRCX.
LRCX.
They're both good. They're both good.
LRCX,
Both fantastic.
yeah,
ASML as well.
Oh, but guess what? AMAT at all-time highs here today. But like, listen, Neil.
They're all great.
Yeah,
They're
they're absolutely
all
insane.
great.
Look at that, 600%. In Lamb Research right there, with the dividend, 26-cent dividend.
ASML is a great stock too. I think that's ASML. The reason I own that one over the other two is ASML has a monopoly in what they do. That's the reason Sharif likes them as well. It's fantastic.
Send it over to the desk.
Thank you so much. We're just going to recap. We talked about the Brazilian real today, but we're going to just get into it a little bit more. So the central bank today published the updated inflation forecast showing the price increases that were near target by the end of the year 2028. Even as the projections have worsened significantly through 2027 amidst the expectations for, I would say, a resilient economic activity. Annual inflation expected at 3.1% in Brazil in the final quarter of the year 2028. So just above the 3% target according to the bank's latest monetary report. And let's take a look at how the dollar is performing right now, currently at intraday lows, trading around the 101.4 region. Sending it back to you.
Thank you, Sia. Less than 1 minute till the imbalances. Someone asked in the chat, how do you usually trade imbalances? The way I look at it is, if there's no expected index action, so therefore, it's not like a stock is getting added or upweighted into one of the major indexes or getting deleted or downweighted, and as a gigantic number that we're anticipating. Barring that, I just look for something significant, like a large size relative to like notionally or relative to the volume on the day. And one of the trades I'll like is like some kind of a reversion off of like 355. So let's just imagine, let's just go with AMC because it happens to be here. That's what I want to. Actually, imbalances are coming out in a few seconds, so I can just go over something that actually matters in now. Anything. Apple, 3 million to the buy side. NVIDIA, 1.8 million. Amazon, 1.5. Market to buy, obviously. Microsoft, 1.5 million buy side. TLT, even the Treasury is 1.7 to the buy side. So all tech, all to the upside. And if you're curious, when I say, like, how do I usually look at it? Like, what I would look for is imbalance causes move up, close to 355 when there's a pairing event. A lot of times the imbalances will pair off. I would look for like a reversion, like a place to let the initial pop happen, and then remember the point of the imbalance, why they publish the imbalances for anybody that wants to look at it can see it after 350 if you have the data, is because they want it to pair off. They don't want it to just skyrocket. They want to pair it off so there's an orderly close. So I look for it to go up into a resistance level. Ideally, grab a short off resistance, and then if it flips or pairs off at like 355, that goes from like 3 million to 1 million or to a sell or to flat, then I'm just taking it in the other direction. So the Dow's a 1.1 million buy, and the Mag 7 is 1.1 billion buy and 1 billion buy on the Mag. I would imagine the overall, the NASDAQ probably a buy as well. The NASDAQ has to be a big buy too.
Yeah, I got my eyes on AMC, Neil. I know the pair volume.
2 million?
There. Yeah, 2 million on AMC. See if we can wait till 55, see what happens when the rebalances come out. Maybe find ourselves a high quality opportunity to get involved here. Yeah, other than that, Apple. I mean, we're talking about some other things. What do you guys want to see on the options list for tomorrow? What do you guys want to talk about options wise? Give me a couple of names. I'll remember them. I'll put them in there. For me. All right. Joe TV, okay, we like this one here, brother. Not so dumb. Finally, something positive.
Ooh, I like
MSTR for options, NVDA options, Wendy's options. Is it optionable? Well, I'll figure that out. I'll keep those names in mind. Thank you, guys. This channel is what I imagine giving Redditors a financial training show. Okay. Maybe that wasn't so positive. Come on, man, head spacing. All right, Joe. Dave's not so dumb trade of the day. Apple calls with the Z. Let's go, my friend. 015. 2027, $300, just loaded up on a few, nice distance down to great value, volume open, interest. We like that one there, my friend. Good stuff. I like hearing that. Let's pull it up here. Down 6% here on the day, down 16% off of the all-time high, or sorry, 13% off of the all-time high. I like that, man. And don't forget, as of September, our boy Timmy C, no longer the CEO, going to remain the head of the board, but these guys are going to start to spend a little bit more cash, Neil. I don't know how that's going to affect the stock because, I mean, we look at it as a, you don't like that?
Well, I know it's one of the things that set them apart has been their
holding the $100 billion in cash, pretty much.
Discipline, yeah.
So yeah, there it is. We're going to keep an eye on AMC just in case we get a rebalance. Adara.
Palantir bouncing here off the lows as someone who benefited from said lows announces that he's getting out of his short. That's Michael Burry, guys. Michael Burry on Substack announcing he's out of his short position on PLTR. I have not done the math on this yet, but just off the top of my head, I assume he was very profitable on this. So PLTR to the downside, but currently bouncing off 107. Michael Burry of the Big Short fame. He's out of his short, guys. He covered his position. Back to you.
Now I'm doing some rough math myself in my head and looking at this chart. Yeah, he made money on this.
Where did he short from?
It really doesn't matter because it wasn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It wasn't at the beginning of 2025. So
no, it was near the end of 2025.
Yeah,
it was when we were over at the old news desk, I believe.
Yeah,
which would have meant that he did it around October, November, I want to say, but don't quote me.
I don't think he could. He can't be worse than 150, 160. So, at the absolute worst, he could have done it. I think would be somewhere in and around here.
You're gonna have to go in timeout.
So he's done absolutely fine. G.I. Jane, not Joe. What's the timeout for? Why are you timing up?
I've never timed anybody out, but if this, you might get timed out for that.
Where do you think we're headed for NVIDIA? Well, I'm just gonna answer this question. I don't know what the timeout thing is. Where do we think we're headed for NVIDIA? Not as far up as we want would be the answer. You know, like if it's not part of the reason, and we found out today, and we saw the numbers, and now you're just going to start to make direct comparisons from Micron to NVIDIA in terms of growth, and it's just going to have Micron blowing NVIDIA out of the water from a side-to-side perspective. And that's just kind of where we're at. That's part of the reason it was a muted move. When we finally broke the channel, we only got 170 to 240. Now we got even if we bounce off the 200-period moving average, what do we expect out of this? When the comparisons are not as favorable as they used to be. But if we head the other way, at least look at it this way. If there is some kind of doom and gloom, at least this doesn't have as far to head back in because it wasn't parabolic. So if we bounce a 200-period moving average, I'd be pretty happy if by next earnings this was even just back to the all-time high. I'm being real with you on that. That's disappointing from any kind of a real return standpoint, but you know, if we roll around the next earnings cycle, we've held the 200-period moving average so long as we've gotten and retested the high. I'd be pretty thrilled with that when you make the comparison between them and what monstrosity of perfection Micron put up with their numbers.
You think that come next earnings report we're at all-time highs?
No, I said if we are, I'll be perfectly happy with it. I've said it before that I was very disappointed.
Who put this
I've been
poll up?
disappointed in NVIDIA because, like I said, like one of the things that I trimmed and actually put money back into tech was trimming a bunch of my AMD and putting it into NVIDIA. And like I'd be kicking myself if it wasn't for ARM and some of the other names.
So I'm talking about, man. The people know. This is why I love you guys.
What is happening here?
This is why I love every single one of you. And I will find out who voted yes.
Should I take away Joe's timing out privileges? Oh, Ramin put this poll up for sure.
Oh, man, it's starting to uptick to the yes side. Oh, no.
I mean, first of all, obviously, we gotta respect Joe and make sure you keep those privileges.
No, man, I honestly don't time people out, to be honest with you. I've messed with Jesse and Blicky. I let a lot slide in the chat, man. I just say, what are you guys even saying? But, man, the upticks, yes, please, is absolutely crazy. Oh, no, it's getting a little bit dangerous. Yeah,
first of all,
man.
how are you even surprised? Man. Of course you're cooked. You did the double gun, you celebrated.
Me, the people love me. They'll
you're toast, bro.
No, I'm not toast, man. You can change your vote. Don't forget, you can change your vote. You can help your boy out. Let's see what everybody votes, man.
Get there.
I'll leave early if it goes 50-50. Close the poll. It's 52-48. It's over now.
No, it's not. It's 3:57. The market doesn't close for another 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll keep it open until then.
Micron's at 1,200. Can we hold on to 1,200? Because that's what we should be concerned about, not whether or not Joe's privileges for timing out should be taken away, which you can vote any way you want. I happen to believe, I really love freedom of speech. I think that's fantastic. So, you know, read into that however you want with how you should be voting
I don't like how I've got this this stigma around me, the fact that I time everybody out. Pardon me?
Like, oh, I'll time out Jesse for a couple. Oh, you get a 10-second ban. You get a 10-second ban. I think you like having the power a little bit. And I think as such, you know, I think it's a fair poll.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing against the poll because as of right now, we got approximately 120 seconds left. The people are speaking. It's 54%. Majority rules at the end of the day. And hey, I let you guys slide with a lot of stuff. I only mess around with Jesse and Blicky. That's for sure. So
Jesse's
if
cool.
If you have that kind of power, this thing on my screen,
that
this user needs to go away.
Oh no!
Because
that's what I'm saying, man.
Oh no!
And you, Neil.
Oh no!
This is where
you can't
everyone.
be filming that.
No. Now listen here. This is where everybody has to go back and vote no. Because I let that slide, I sent it to the individual first, and you right away, Neil, as it typically is, jumped down my throat. Bro, you can't time people out. I didn't time anybody out. You see what I'm getting at?
You know what? You could do anything.
Crazy.
You could make fun. I don't give it. You could make fun. You could make anything that wants to mock me. No. You come at the team on the desk.
Yeah, man.
That's a problem.
That's why I said,
we got a problem.
That's what I'm saying.
We got a problem right now.
Yeah.
About it being said.
Man, someone said they Joe-defied her, man. That's crazy,
man.
Rocket Rust.
Something ain't right. You can't do that. 30 seconds to go. You come on.
I like pixie cuts.
I'm with you on that one.
Am I allowed to say that?
You could, you absolutely you could say
I
that.
like to say
1200 is gonna hold. Late day surge. You know what? 15% is good enough.
Appreciate you saving.
15% is good enough,
Yeah.
and that's where we're gonna close here. Shout out to VinFast, VFS. Check them out. Scan the QR code. I want to thank them for sponsoring the closing bell. 1200 and where did we come? 12?
Yeah.
11 or 12 looks like that's where we closed. 15.5% for them. If we're running down the line, SNDK, SanDisk, even better, 22% for SanDisk. DRAM, only 10%? 10%? Talking about 10%? Let's put the SanDisk chart back up. That's just better. We'll leave it here.
Leave it there.
22.5% for SNDK. Remember what it felt like at about 9:45 this morning?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then look at that chart. We're in a bull market, everybody. And I don't know what better way to say it.
Yeah, at least Jesse can
Until
relate.
proven otherwise. But that Dan Hammer was probably pretty legit. I want to give a big shout out and thank you, Eric Sloan. We just had on a fantastic guest this morning. Of course, Raheem Alani, always doing a fantastic job on the desk. We got the ones and the twos and one as well. Shout out to Adara and Sia. Big shout out to the team that makes us look and sound good all day long.
What did Eccentric Passion say?
Oh, you're still up in the chat?
Yeah, man. I'm a
See,
man
now
of the
Joe.
people.
Now all of a sudden, Joe's looking for people to ban.
No,
Tread carefully.
never said that.
Tread
Ever,
carefully.
never.
I saw the look in his eye. You see I saw the look in his eyes.
Because when Ramin, I love you too, Hangry Wife. Because when Ramin chimes in the chat, I have to see what they say because it's obviously intriguing at some point. Listen to this, Neil. 55%, 450 people voting. Majority rules here. No, let the menace be. I am the man of the people. I will never, ever. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I could ban somebody right now just for fun. but
you see what I'm saying?
I'm not going to do it.
He wants to ban. He's trying to ban somebody.
This is the point that the poll made, and I don't think it made it unfairly.
Yeah, let the people speak, man. That's all that matters. I love you all, guys. Just all having some fun.
Exactly.
It was a really good day, to be honest with you, despite the market. I understand that if you're looking for some of the longs, it was a little bit tougher. If you're a patient, those opportunities will be there. Tomorrow's going to be a completely new day, regardless if you're red or green. And it doesn't matter what you've done today. It only matters what you do tomorrow. So I hope everybody stays golden as usual, and I hope everyone has a good evening. It is Friday Junior, as they call it, and maybe we'll get some pizza tomorrow. So,
well, the pizza and beer, we got to make sure we figure that out tomorrow. Thank you guys for all the super chats. You know what? I'll say it. Good luck to the USA tonight in soccer. Why not? Because I'm not going to hate. Canada didn't do the best in the third match. You guys have it locked up, so it doesn't even matter. You guys get to get through, but have a good one. I'll probably try to stay up for a little bit to watch it, but it's going to be a little bit late. We'll see you at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Michael Burry's out of Palantir. We'll probably trade that tomorrow. Some Micron, some DRAM again, and all the fun stuff. See you in the morning. We're Trade TV Live. Deuces.